All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully, guys are all having a fantastic Christmas day. Happy Monday, although most of you guys probably aren't working. Actually, no, I don't think anybody's technically working today, considering it is a national holiday. So welcome to the stream, guys. Hopefully, you're having a good one. Very Merry Christmas to all of you guys. Very Merry Christmas, chat. I just realized I forgot to shake my freaking GFuel. What's up, Seabird? What's up, Burrito? What's up, A. Robinson, Tristan, Tammy, and Toby, Austin, Andrew, Edwin, James, Logan, Big Boy, I'm Hyper, Toby, Elite Gamers. What's good, man? What's up, AJ Boy? How you all doing today, guys? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully, you're all having a fantastic day today. Let's go ahead and get this started, man. I am so honestly down right now to play some Fortnite. I don't know what was itching me earlier today, but I was seriously itching to play some Fortnite. And I was like, you know what? We did some zombies yesterday. We saved Christmas. Let's go ahead and play some Fortnite. Some good old Fortnite. The good news is also as well for you guys, those of you guys who are going to be watching this stream, the quality for Fortnite should be so much better because for whatever reason, I can now play Fortnite in 1080p. I don't know. I don't think they released an update. Maybe my computer just finally realized what was going on. But now it's all working. What's up, Cody? What's up, 2007? Jamie, Lockhart, Cody, Cole, Kenneth, Nicholas, Peanut Man. Welcome to the stream. Speaking of Peanut Man, let me make sure the bot is in here, because I know Peanut Man's going to be asking. Alright. Let's get the fuss bot loaded up. Get the ProBot. Make sure the ProBot's in here. But yeah, look, doesn't Fortnite look so much sharper? Because we're actually playing in 1080p. Can you believe that? Like 1080p? What's up, Cody? How you doing today, man? Hopefully you guys all had a fantastic Christmas. For some of you guys, you may be going through, you know, some more of the day, but, you know, finishing up Christmas Day anyways. But my Christmas Day is pretty much all wounded down, and I'm just chilling now, man. I'm just chilling. All right, so I think we're good, honestly. Let's go ahead and hop into a solo and see what we can make happen. I don't think I'll have to adjust any of my settings, even though everything's like full screen now. I don't really know. All right, the bot should be in the stream now, guys. My YouTube is called Slipknots HD. You can find it. Love your videos. Yo, thank you, man. The stream is 720p. Well, I know I'm streaming at 720p, but like I get to play the game at 1080, which means when you guys watch it, it should be a lot cleaner. Is what I'm trying to say. Hopefully that all makes sense. What's up, Dylan? Yo, I almost wonder if I want chat to be over here. Because, like, I have a chat window open up over here on my computer. And I have a chat window open up over here. And I feel like I naturally, right now, want to look more over here. I don't know why. Makes more sense. What's up, 74? What's up, Random? How you doing today, man? Oh, this looks and feels so nice right now. Yo, how smooth is this image, chat? How smooth is this image? This might look really, really nice. I did get a brand new capture card, guy. That's what it must be. It's because I got my new capture card today. Aha. What's up, Italian Turtle? How you today, Ivan? What's up, Mohammed? Yo, hopefully the capture card can make things a little bit nicer over here. Why am I not on Twitch? Honestly, bro, I just wasn't feeling the Twitch vibes today, man. But to be honest with you, no. It's because whenever I try to stream on both Twitch and YouTube, I get really weird crackling issues, so that's why I don't do it. Get the W. We're gonna do my best, man. I'm gonna do my very, very best. Smoother than a baby's bottom. Nice. That's what I like to hear. That's smooth. All right. Would you guys say it's smoother than the other streams that I've done, or would you say it's like right about the same? I don't know. It might be kind of hard to tell.
Notice MEHENPAI.
Yo, Gangsta. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Says notice me henpai. Yo, dude. I appreciate your donation, man. Honestly, let's get a Gangsta spam in the chat or gang spam. Yo, Sparky. Merry Christmas, man. Merry Christmas to all of you guys in the stream. Hopefully you guys are all having a good one. It is smoother. Okay, that's really nice to hear. That is really, really nice to hear. I'm going to go right to Anarchy Aches, I guess. Honestly, we're going to keep it high octane. See if we can make some magic happen. What's up, Bob Jeep? How you doing today, man? Why does this seem so loud? Holy Jesus, this seems really, really loud. Hey, get the gang. Got the gang spams. Yo, More Than Divide. What's up, man? I should try the new ski slope map on zombies. I did already try the new ski slope map, man. The new ski resort map. I'm pretty sure it's up on my channel. I think it is anyway. Most of you guys have probably already seen it, I think. Oh, dudes, this is so nice. This is so much nicer. I'm actually getting like 0 lag right now. Dude, this capture card was so worth it. Thank God Santa Claus got this for me. Oh my God. I was about to be pissed. Thank God nobody's coming for this right now. Okay. Wait. Henis, I was about to say. That was really, really bad. Got him. There's one down in here. Sorry, my aim's a little bit off, guys. This is my very first time gaming today. So you guys are going to have to forgive me for that. No! I didn't realize he was above me, bro. Ah! I'm playing like a complete idiot, my dudes. What's up, Caleb? How you doing today, man? God damn, that was only slightly disappointing. I thought we were going to have something there. How would you say my name? I would call your name 74. It looks so smooth. You are so good. Okay, I'm glad that it looks so smooth for you guys. Oh, that's so nice to hear. That's so nice to hear. That means all future streams are going to be looking so fresh, man. You know what's so weird, though? You know what's so weird? I actually, I wonder if my sensitivity is a little bit different. I wonder if, because now that I'm playing at a higher resolution, if my sensitivity is actually going to be all messed up now. I don't really know. First L of the day? Yeah, I'm not going to lie. That was a bit of an L. I will not lie. Unfortunately, it was a bit of an L. I like that I have a separate computer up over here, though, so I can, look at, stats and analytics for streams and stuff. Dude, this is feeling nice. I feel almost like a professional streamer, guys. It's almost like I know what I'm doing, but I don't. It's almost like when I stream every single day. Yo, Lockaway, what's up, man? What's up, Paul? Am I going to do any BO3 zombies? It's possible, but kind of unlikely. I kind of just wanted to play Fortnite tonight. Alright, I just gotta, test out. Yeah, no, my sensitivity still seems fine. This is definitely my sense. No, this is definitely my sense. I just gotta warm up here. What's up, Ian? Hey, today, Radical. Henis, I don't believe in Santa. Dude, Sonny, why would you not believe in Santa Claus? I mean, I can vouch for the fact that I went under my tree this morning, and there was a box under my tree, and it was from Santa Claus. So I'm just letting you know, something came from Santa Claus. Just being honest. Henis' merch is fire. Yo, Edwin, I appreciate that, man. Actually, it was so cool. I'm gonna get out at go to Salty Springs. Go to Salty Springs. But yo, so my mom bought my sister some of my merch. I thought that was the coolest thing. I don't know. I thought that was so freaking dope. I was my sister rocking my merch. My mom bought it for my sister for Christmas. I don't know. I know that might seem kind of lame to you guys. I don't know. And obviously it's family members, right? So you know, in order to get true criticism, you probably want to go to somebody else other than your immediate family because they're going to kind of, you know, be nice and support anything that you want to do. But man, I just thought that was so cool. My sister came over this morning from my mom's house. I was at my dad's, and she's wearing my merch, dude. I don't know. I just thought that was cool. Where's my pink sock, Tanner? The pink sock isn't here yet, man. It's going to arrive on Thursday. So it's going to arrive, what day is it today? Monday? Yeah, so it's arrived. That's when it's arriving on, man. All right. We honestly have to get a weapon. You know, honestly, it's a nice weapon. I kind of need something a little bit more close quarters. A little bit more reasonable right now. I'm going to go with this. Ooh. Yeah, something is weird about my sensitivity. Something is definitely different. I don't know why on earth I picked that up. Okay. I don't really know where I want to go. Push up here. Okay, there's people over here. This is where we're going, chat. We got it. Yo! From A. Robinson. Oh, well, the loot's right there.
Happy Christmas to you and everyone out here in the stream.
What the hell did I just do?
You had a great day. What are your main goals and plans for 2018?
Yo, that's an excellent question, my guy. Give me a quick second to let me kill this guy. Okay. Dude, honestly, where is the bloom in this game? Astonishing Airsoft, what's up, man? So, yo, A. Robinson comes with a 1337. I gotta, when I'm in situations like that, when I'm using the SMG, I gotta, pace my shots. So, I gotta, shoot and burst. I don't know. Are the donations not showing up again, man? Dude, honestly, what is wrong with Streamlabs? Do I even want to know? Let me try to go to my Streamlabs page and see if anything's up. But, yo, so hold on. Thank you very much to A. Robinson. He came with a 1337. Says, Happy Christmas to you and everyone out there in the stream. Hope you had a great day. And what are your main goals and plans for 2018? You know, honestly, man, I don't really know what my main goals are. Because, to be honest with you, I have big goals. Like, I want to achieve big things, but I don't necessarily have, like, specific milestones in mind. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's, I don't know. I'm kind of in that weird spot. Your merch is better than my Gucci sweater. Yo, Edwin, that's too nice, man. Honestly, that's too nice of you to say. You're lying. Don't lie to me like that. Another L, and indeed another L, man. Even the best take L's, and I'm not the best, so I will be taking more L's than the best for sure. What's up, Ian? Assessments 8th game tonight at the same time as I can do. What on earth? I have no idea what's going on. Donations don't show. I know. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now, guys. I don't understand why they're not showing up. Honestly, I don't know if it's an OBS issue or what, man. I don't really know. I don't know how to fix it, man. Yo, what's good, Jose? How you doing today, my man? Welcome to the stream. All right, where do we want to go? I'm kind of sick and tired. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to consistently go to, like, the same spots every single time. Like, you guys know me when I play Fortnite. I'm, like, always going to, like, the same goddamn location. I'm trying to spice it up a little bit. I think it's going to make me a better player, and it might increase my chances of winning. Do I know Scissors? Yes, I do. Well, not personally, but I know of him. I've never met him, and I don't think he has any idea who I am. I mean, he might. Probably not, though. Henis, your pickaxe is green. It is indeed, my guy. It is indeed. Yo, I'm liking how smooth the stream is right now, guys. This is actually sexy as hell. All right, is nobody going to this first one? I'm sliding right in here, boys. You can't tell me nothing. What do I get? What am I rewarded with? AR. Burst AR right off the bat. That's what winners get. That's not good.
I'ma finish it off. Love your streams.
No! Ah! What? Hold on, chat. I don't know what's going on right now. There's fighting going on over here. How weak is he, bro? Are you serious? Oh my god. Just got the hip fire of the century on this man. Nobody else better be around here. Just being straight up. Oh my lord. Where's another guy? Whoa! Give me that. Wait, what? Wait, what was that? Huh? Yo, what's good, Crucive? Does anybody know how I died? Was that a hack? What's up, I Play With Toes? Thinking. I don't know how I just died. But yo, hold on, let me catch up on these donations. I appreciate that, guys. Hacking, he's a hacker? Really? Was that a hack? Oh, that kind of sucks. All right, what a great way to start off the stream. A. Robin said, I already got your donation. Gangsta comes in with on top of A. Robinson's donation and says, I'm going to finish it off. Love your streams. Thank you, man. You got shot from an outside from the SMG, but you should have spectated him? Yeah, maybe I could have spectated him to like figure out what the hell he was doing. But yo, Crucive, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. I'm not gonna be doing duos for a while, man. Maybe later on in the stream, but right now I really want to grind some solos because I have not played solos in this game in such a long time. I feel that people who donate should get bonus coins depending on how much they donate. A. Robin said, I was thinking that too, man, but at the same time, I use coins for people to enter into giveaways and I didn't want it to be a pay-to-win type thing. What I do have for, you know, to increase the amount of coins you get is if you're a sponsor, you do get double the coins that regular viewers get. So that's how that works. But yo, can we get another gangsta spam in the chat, guys? I would appreciate it, honestly. I'm going high octane right off the bat, dudes. Frick it. Last couple starts that we have didn't happen, so we need to do something a little bit different. What's up, It's? How you doing today? What's up, Crazy? Henis, you're the best YouTuber ever. Dude, honestly, let me win a game of Fortnite first before we start going around throwing compliments at me. Alright? I'm telling you right now. I gotta show up, you know what I'm saying? I can't just... Please let me land on the roof. Please let me land on the roof. Yes, yes, yes. Honestly, timing is perfect. Of course I can't build there. I didn't want to anyways. There's a guy out there. Ah! What on earth? Where are you, little one? You are dead, and it's not even funny. Now I can't hear anything. God damn it, donations, I hate you. No! You've got to be kidding me.
I love you. Hi stream, my name is Custom and Henis is my dad and he loves me. I hope. Merry Christmas stream.
Honestly, man, we just running. Please don't shoot me in the back. I'm just gonna run into the barn, bro. He definitely saw me, didn't he? No! Okay, I don't think he did. You got any bandages around here? Something? Anything for me? Yes! Yes! Was that a medkit right below me? I don't think it was. What was that? I thought I saw something right below me, man. I could have sworn that was something better than that. Okay, we're going up here. Sometimes there's a chest up here. This is what we need. Okay, green AR. Honestly, I'll take it. Thank you. To whoever left this here. Well, actually, I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay, we're looking pretty low on health right now, chat. Let's hope we can take cover. By the way, you're amazing. Thank you, dude. This is exactly what we need. We need some bandages. Some place to heal up, my guy. This is what daddy needed. Okay, here we go. No zombies today? We might do some zombie skate. Not really sure yet, man. But Crucive, thank you very much for the 5, brother. He says, I love you. Hi, stream. My name is Crucive, and Henis is my dad, and he loves me. That's true. ... I hope. Merry Christmas, stream. Yo, Merry Christmas to the stream, man. Crucive, Merry Christmas to you, too, man. Henis, you can see donations in the chat. Okay, yeah, all donations, guys, they're coming through, like, on my end. So don't worry. Like, I'm going to read them all out loud. I'll be sure to thank the people that actually donate as well. So I'll, like, read out your name, too. So, like, don't worry if your name doesn't, like, pop up. I'll read it out loud. Like, I read all donations out loud. I hate you, donations. Listen, when I'm out here trying to concentrate, you got to understand that, like, sometimes a man just needs to concentrate. You know what I'm saying? Whew. You gonna win this? I'm calling it. Yo, Edwin, I like your positivity, brother. I like your forward thinking. I just hate landing in spots like that and only getting, like, 1 kill. Especially when there's that many people there. That's what sucks the most, you know what I'm saying? So. No chest over there. Alright, we're just gonna keep popping, chat. We're gonna keep popping. Keep on running. We think about how clutch that was, though. We ended up getting a kill, and now we're in, like, so much of a better spot. Because we got a shield potion, we got ammo, we got a green AR. Part of me is still incredibly curious about where this guy ended up, though. Like, incredibly curious. So part of me, like, kind of wants to be more aggressive against this guy. Ooh. Okay, I'm actually glad we came back over here. Help me out here, game. Give me something good. Or not, that's cool too. Yo, what do we got? Anything lying around here that I could use? You know, honestly, I'll take that. Did I pick that up? I didn't. But I want it. Oh, there's another one in here? Dude, nobody came in this long barn. It's not like we're really getting anything good anyways. Mostly, I'm just going to drop those. Pick those back up. Only 5 bandages? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's not right. Oh, because I used the other 5 bandages. Right. I forgot I dropped those. Oh, we see where he is. Let's get him, chat. Who's ready to kill this guy? Oh, God. Let's go, baby. Woo! Blue AR, I'll take that. And give me that shotgun. Or that rocket. Never mind. Whew. I want to heal up now. What are we thinking, chat? I'm feeling it. Let's go, baby. I'll take that. What's up, Carlos? How you doing today, man? What's up, the gaming noob? Your Wi-Fi is doing really bad. That sucks, bro. Honestly. Hoping the stream still looks popping for you guys, though. Let me take those bandages back, actually. Thank God that guy didn't have, like, pump shotguns, or else he probably would have melted me. Honestly, that's all that saved me right there. What's up, Andrew? How you doing today, buddy? If you guys are enjoying the stream, definitely make sure you drop a like as well. I would seriously appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Helps the stream grow. Helps get the stream out there. If you guys are fans, make sure you subscribe. Turn on that post notifications. You know what I'm saying? All right, it's time to calm down, focus, hocus pocus up. There's already 25 people left, dude. I actually don't even think the first, like, storm wave has come through yet. This is really weird. I like these potions, though. Honestly, bro, taking that.
Can I get a shout out for Amy for Christmas, bro?
Can I get a shout out for Amy for Christmas? Yo, pro, definitely, man. You get a shout out for anybody. Yo, huge shout out to Amy. Appreciate your support. Amy and pro, bro. Love your name, man. What the hell? I'm about to say. Dude, I'm liking... Wait a minute. That, oh, I thought I just saw a guy, dude, but it was a butterfly. Low-key bugged out, not gonna lie. Okay. Anything down there that I would want? It's a possibility. Highly unlikely. It's always nice to check. I think we're good. I think we're good. Alright, let's keep on pushing. Alright, first storm wave is passed. I kind of... Thought I just heard someone. I'm gonna go check in this cabin right up here, because usually there's something good in the roof. Is there? Hell yeah, there is, baby! Yeah, this is what I'm freaking talking about, man. Yo, I love that I have, like, 0 wood right now. Honestly, could really use some more supplies, but it is what it is. Dude, I'm honestly getting the worst chest loot right now of all time. Actually unreal. I'm gonna go check this real quick, because I think I've got time, right? I got a little bit of time. I think I got a little bit of time. I got a minute 28 seconds, so I should be able to check up there. See if there's a chest, and then we just gotta move. Then we're just gonna head straight to the safe zone. I like this wood that I'm finding here. I'm gonna keep the brick out, though, as the main primary build. And there is a chest. Let's get it, baby. Henis, your character high-key thick? Yo, that's a fact. Aren't all my characters high-key thick, though? Hell yeah, dude. Let's freaking get it, man. Let's go. Oh. Well, hello there. Young builders. Was that guy just hit with a boogie bomb? What on earth? Ah! Honestly, bro, try to hit me with a sniper one more time. Where were you? There you are. Ooh. Yo, Henis, can you swap properly, please? Got him. Where'd this guy go? Ooh. Okay. Honestly, what am I gonna do? I kind of want that, to be 100% honest with you. Did that guy just get all that loot over there? I think he did. I don't know where else to go. Did I get all this guy's loot? That's the real question. I think I did. Okay, perfect. Oh, definitely get that rocket. Okay, cool. Now we just gotta run, chat. We're gonna be in the gas for a little bit, but we got 15 meds, so we should be a-okay. How far are we? We're not too bad. Hopefully we'll find some more people along the way. And it's me, Gregory. Yo, what's up, Gregory? How you doing today, my man? Welcome to the stream. Yo, don't tell me that's a bolt action. If that's a bolt action, dude, I'm gonna cry. They usually have a spawn right there. No, it's not. It's a pistol. I lied, chat. Sorry to tease you guys like that. Really more so tease myself, though. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna take a lot of getting used to, or not a lot of getting used to, just a little bit of getting used to playing on the 1920 by 1080. Like, it looks. Henis, what the frick are you doing, dude? Honestly, I don't want to hear it, chat. Do you have a medkit, though? Yo, this man had a gold scar? Holy God, thank the frickin' Lord I murdered you. Okay. Now, the real question is... Okay, yes, I think I can make it out of this without having to apply a medkit. I think. Will I? What do we think, chat? Oh, no, I have more than one medkit, so never mind. I'm going to risk it. I don't need to risk it, actually. I could just apply. No way! I'm actually going to die! Bro, I didn't know it was going to take 2! I thought it was only taking 1! Oh, we just potatoed hard. I don't want to hear it. I'm good. Don't worry, I'm not even pissed. I'm fine. You're only late if you missed the stream? Exactly. You have wood now, don't waste brick. Yeah, I probably honestly should have used wood there, but to be honest with you, it's so much nicer to build with brick. But I probably should save the brick for when I'm doing, like, bases and stuff. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to how much it was taking. Not too bad, though. Not too bad. We had a launch pad, too. Did anybody else realize that? We could have used a launch pad. Yeah, I wasn't really thinking about that, though. I could have used the launch pad to get out of there a little bit faster, but... You sure you're good? Yo, Gregory, are you sure you're good? Because you used the wrong form of your in a chat. Which, I mean, to be honest with you, really isn't that bad. I honestly hate people that correct that sort of thing because I think it's kind of petty, and to be honest with you, I don't really care. But, you know, some people are just really, really into that sort of thing. Do you like brick or metal better? Well, I think metal's a little stronger than brick, isn't it? I think. Or are they the same? I actually have no idea. Maybe they're the same. What's up, Young? If this stream gets 1,025 likes, I'll donate $10. Yeah, that's a lot of likes to get, Enzo. Usually people just donate to the stream if they want to donate, you know, to be a nice person. Wow, you committed suicide. Yeah, technically I committed suicide, man. Mouse and keyboard? Yeah, mouse and keyboard. You're right. Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you. I love these Fortnite streams. Yo, thank you. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I'm glad you guys are liking it. Alright, honestly, I'm not going to go to Fatal. My instincts are telling me, Henis, play high octane, go for kills right off the bat, but we're not going to do that. We're going to skip over Fatal Fields. We're going to go to Retail Row. Honestly, that's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling. And I'm just going to get out now. I don't give a frick. We're getting out now. We're going to get a good spawn, hopefully right off the bat. What's my highest kill count for a Fortnite game? I think 18. Metal is stronger, but it takes longer to build. Okay, so that we were right. We were right. Honestly, man, how many people are joining me over here? Just a couple. Just a few people. Nothing we can't handle. I'm going to head to one of these blacktop roofs, and we're just going to go from there. What's up, the random? Oh, yeah, if I can get a weapon right off the bat. Nice. Ooh, yikes, that was almost really bad. Just gonna sit right here and reload. I played that absolutely horribly. Don't learn anything from me, chat, by the way, as far as playing Fortnite goes, because I'm not the best example for like any of this stuff. Just throwing that out there. Oop, no, we're gonna put that there. Dude, what the hell am I doing? Dude, yeah, the sensitivity is definitely slightly different when you're playing at this, actually. When you're playing at this resolution. It's only slightly different, but it's throwing me off. I'm not gonna lie. Just gonna have to get used to it. Not that big of a deal. It'll honestly make things easier in the long run, I think.
Just cause you're T-Raw.
Is that a medkit, I spy? Yo, can I pick this up? Thank you. Wait a minute. Give me that. And give me that. Give me 1 second. Yo, Jeremy Gonzalez, was that you? With a $10? Sheesh, dude. You're a freaking animal, my guy. Thank you very, very much. I saw somebody else over there. Honestly, we're just going to sit and apply, though. Take my time. Looking pretty good. But, Jeremy, yo, can we get a Jeremy spam in the chat, dude? God damn, that's a $10. My guy. Merry Christmas to you, man. Merry Christmas to you, brother. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. I'm just going to swap that right there. Okay. I'm not going to lie. I'm liking this right now. We're in a pretty solid position. That double pump swap, though, is so OP. It's ridiculous. I absolutely love it. Definitely to keep using it. I'm not good with it in tense situations, because in tense situations, I start to freak out. So I fat finger stuff, but... Just gonna run right through the open. I'm feeling it, Henis. I'm feeling it. Where else are we checking? Somebody already got this. I definitely feel like we're being watched right now. This is way too populated of an area for me not to see anybody else. I'd imagine. Oh, I'm gonna take damage. No, 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 no. Oh, thank God. Yeah, that's a miracle and a half. Not gonna lie. What's up, Sonny? I'll take that. We're gonna be heading this way anyways, don't we? Yeah, sort of. Oh, let's go to that drop. 100%. We're going for it, guys. Dude, I don't go for drops enough in this game, but I literally feel like they're the keys to winning games sometimes. Especially if we get like a scar or a sniper or something. Can you imagine? Yes, you're not late unless you miss a stream, guys. So, note to everybody, don't miss the stream. What's up, Brandy? What's up, Luke? Or Branny. I don't know why. I don't know why sometimes I put a D in your name. That doesn't make any sense. That don't make no sense, no. Don't make none sense. There's a guy. Oh, I thought I had a sniper. RIP. Feels sad. This guy's definitely going for the drop, though. What we're going to do, we're going to get right on top of Dusty Depot. We're just going to annihilate him. What's the plan? What's up, Pro? Lol, Brandy. I know. I threw a D in your name like you're some sort of diva or something. Okay, sick, Henis. Honestly, Henis, if you want to just give away your position, dude, just like shout, hey, here I am. He's seriously down here? Chances that he saw me, chat. I'm gonna go with next to none, because I don't think he was looking in my direction. Take that real quick. What do I take, chat? I don't know what to take. Definitely taking the shields, I guess. Wait, how many shields are there? 3? Yeah, I'm taking them. Honestly. Reload this. I'll take the trap. And I'll take this. And now we're good. We got a gold scar, baby. We are looted. Man, let's get it. You feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Wow, he actually just hit that shot. That's insane. Don't you ever tickle me with your sniper again. Wait, he's got a boogie bomb. Okay, I'm actually picking that up. Oh, okay, and the medkit's definitely way more powerful in my opinion, so we're going to take that instead. Okay. Keep moving, chat. Keep moving. Nothing to see here. You saw nothing, boys and girls. You saw nothing. What's up, Nino? Welcome to the stream. How you doing today? Honestly, in these situations, I feel like there's still a million people around me, but I just can't see them. This seems too... You guys heard that land, right? That sounded close, too. I'm always a fan of going for the drops. Always. Yo, Merry Christmas. Yo. Oh, somebody just opened it. No, you're not dancing. Are you serious? Let's go, man. Whew. That was close, not gonna lie. That was a well-fought battle, my man. Well-fought battle. I am not going to lie, though. I'm going to use your base to heal myself up. Okie dokie. What's up, Ian? How you doing today, man? How long have I been a gamer? Long time. Long time, my G. Long time. Ever since I was born. I don't know why I'm fat fingering everything, but it's really starting to piss me off. I honestly think that's how I need to play a lot of gunfights, though. Like, you guys notice how I played like that, especially that shotgun fight? Like, the one that I literally just had. Played that a little bit more passively. I think that's the way I need to do it, where I need to, like, hide behind corners a little bit. Because I feel like one advantage I'm going to have over the average player is my snap-on. Like, you guys see that when I snipe? And I think... So, like, I can, like, peek around a corner and, like, snap onto somebody pretty... I didn't mean to shoot. Snap onto somebody pretty easily. So, I feel like... Like, if I'm hiding behind a corner like that, I can kind of freak them out. And then get that... Get that shot off, you know what I'm saying? I really wish that boogie bomb hit him, though. That would have been so sick. I could have sworn I just saw a freaking shield potion. I'm tripping balls out here, dude. Can't tell if he's up there or not. Yep. Oh, we heard him. Okay. He's shooting at some poor soul down there. Let's go say hello to our new friend, shall we, chat? Can't tell if he killed him or not. I kind of want to get shot at, low key. No! Hello!
Hope I win and keep getting those kills.
Should honestly pull this back first. Where was that shot? Huh? Hold on, yo. You're absolutely insane, whoever just came with that massive dono. I freaking love you. Ah, ha, ha. Imagine. I can't see what's going on all the way over there.
Fuck you, bro. Hope you burn in hell.
I have no idea where to look for this guy, dude. I don't like this at all. You serious? That it's not breaking? Alright, I gotta move. Honestly, I just gotta move. Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh, I just potatoed everything, dude. This gunfight's not worth it, right? Or is it? I don't know, chat. Super weak. No! Nope. Oh, thank the Lord, bro. Ah!
Gambit sounds EELO.
Ha! Yo, Jeremy, yo, hold on. 1 second, guys. 1 second. I'm sorry. I just gotta. I'm concentrating. I'm concentrating. Wait a minute. Ah! I wanted that so bad. Drop right there. Is that what he's going for? Ah, I can't take that. He's definitely right behind that tree. Love it. There he is. Okay. That was honestly probably the worst kill I've had so far today, but... God damn it. Let's freaking go, dude. That was a nice-ass shot. What the frick was that, dude? I have no idea what's going on. It's a 1v1. I don't have my AR. No! No! Are you serious? Oh my god. I'm healing out. How do I not hear him? GG's. Not too bad, not too bad. I hope Henis gets to see his archives and read some of this crap in chat. Yeah, honestly, I probably won't even want to, but I probably will. What's up, Pro Dustin? Bought my friend an iPhone 8 Plus and an MK watch, and I'm 14. Damn, dude, you're balling out here. Jesus. Yo, you want to buy me an iPhone 10, please? That'd be pretty sick. Yo, real quick, let me get these donations. So, Brockzilla came in and said, hope you win and keep getting those kills. Thank you very much, dude, for the 10. You're insane. Freaking love you. Thank you. Gambit Martinez comes in with a 2 and says, F you, bro. Hope you burn in hell. Thank you. Honestly, man, Merry Christmas. Jeremy then comes in with a 5 and says, Gambit sounds eel. I don't really know what that means. Henis, your mods are slacking. Yeah, honestly, I need some new mods, because, like, my OG mod squad, I know they can't always be here. Why was I timed out? Why were you timed out, bro? I don't know. You were timed out by Nightbot. Yeah, why were you timed out, actually? That doesn't make any sense. You only used 4 emotes and you were timed out. Honestly, hold on, let me go check my Nightbot rules, because I'm pretty sure... I thought it was only, like, if you spam more than 5 emotes, then it's like, you get a ban. I don't know. What were you banned for, though? Does it tell me? Does it tell you what you were banned for? Just as you were timed out by Nightbot. It's not letting me know for what, though. That's annoying. Definitely not frustrating at all. Alright, I'm about to log in with that afterwards. Honestly, let's go to Loot Lake, bro. When was the last time I went to freaking Loot Lake? As, like, an actual spawn. iPhone 10 sucks ass. Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't even want the iPhone 10. I have the iPhone 6s, so, like, if I were to get an upgrade... I don't know. Actually, you know what? Would I even want an upgrade? Because, like, I use the headphone jack too much, and I love the headphone jack. And I don't think... I think isn't the iPhone 6s the newest iPhone to have the headphone jack? Because I know the 7 doesn't. The 7 was the first one to have it, so then the 8 doesn't have it. And if the 8 doesn't have it, then obviously the 10 doesn't have it. I know that. I don't know, bro. Surprise. Yeah. Sure, we'll go with that. Honestly, do I even want... Oh, yeah, Scar, baby. Let's freaking get it. Pick that up. I'm a fan, boys. I'm a fan. Big fan, big fan. Okay, that's gonna go there. Gonna get rid of that. We're gonna get the double pump for right now until we get a shotgun, or until we get a sniper. You got an iPhone 6 for Christmas? Hey, babe, that's nice, man. That's nice. Really wish we had a sniper, but honestly, Scar does the job for right now. Gold Scar, especially. Sniper. Ah, I was hoping, man. I was hoping. I hate this bloom, dude. It's unbelievably annoying. Now I have no good way of getting him. Got 41 bullets. I'm heading in the wrong direction, too. I don't have enough materials to build out there. Of course, he reapplied his goddamn potion, bro. I wonder if I even worry about this kid at this point. I can't even see where he is. Can't even tell if he's still on the island or if he pushed back. If he's still on the island, though, now I'm going to be in a great spot to get him. We would see him traveling. There he is. He's coming towards the island. We'll give him some time. What's up, Spencer? Act like we don't even see him. All the chests are looted up there. What side do we think he's going to come up on? Right side or the left side? I'm going to guess left. No, I'm going to guess right. He's stupid if he comes up on the left side. There's a chest over there, too. Could technically go for that right now. Just try to bait him out a little bit. 'Cause he might have eyes on me. I love running out of supplies. Honestly, the coolest feeling in the world. Honestly, I'm just going to go for him, chat. I'm sick and tired of this guy. What is he doing? Oh, he's got a sniper. Wait, did he just die? Dude, Bloom is got to be out of this world, dude. It's unbelievable, man. Now I'm not going to be able to get, like, any of his loot either, because you can't loot stuff underwater. That was, like, a ginormous waste of my time for one kill. Need a sniper, too. Actually, no, we can't pick stuff up. Never mind. I lied. I just need to take my time to look at it. And he has a gold semi-auto? I'm liking it. Bless you. Yo, thank you. Ooh. Oh, yeah, we kind of got to be hustling and bustling right about now. I have a feeling Yeah, we ain't really close to the safe zone. If I check my mini map right now. Yep. See, this is the thing, chat. We waste too much time killing one guy, and then I don't pay attention to where I'm headed. It's alright, it's alright. You live and you learn, right? You live and you learn. We'll make it come back from this, chat. I guarantee it. This is not the death of me. Obviously, because we have 15 bandages, but... What's up, Finley? How you doing today, man? Looking for any mods? I'm honestly thinking about it, man. I'm honestly thinking about it, because you're right. Like somebody was mentioning it earlier. Like, you can't expect the mod, like, the OG mod squad, like, all my mods to be here. Like, at least one of them all the time, you know? Like, that'd be cool if that's how it worked out, but that's just not how it works out. So... There's already 20 people remaining. Dude, why are these games going by so fast? That's the sort of stuff that worries me, man, because that makes me think there's like a Slayer in the game. What's up, JXM? Drop all the way down there. I'm gonna check in here just in case. Didn't check above, but that's okay. I don't think there's gonna be anything up there anyways. I'm actually that low on wood. That's unreal. Hopefully we can make it past them and get a snipe on somebody. Yo, 200th like? Hey, I appreciate that, guys. If you have not dropped a like in the stream yet, please make sure you do that. Definitely does help me out a lot. Really, really does. Definitely thought there was going to be... The lighting there's... Yeah, there is a guy. Yeah, okay. Knows I saw him. Question is, though... Okay. Well, that's not really what I wanted. It's a horrible spot to sit. If you guys are that guy and you push this way, where are you headed next? I'd either go down there. Did I run right over him? How did I take damage from that, man? That's so dumb, dude. Honestly, I just gotta head to the safe zone. I don't know what I'm doing. Am I actually gonna get trapped in this thing again? Oh, there he is. He's right in front of me. Holy Jesus. He has no idea where I am. Let's go. Hopefully you got some sniper ammo for me. No, no, no. Come on, come on, come on. No! You freaking serious, dude? How much farther? Oh my god, I have so far to go. There's 11 people remaining? Oh my Jesus Christ, dude. In the name of the Lord. Hopefully we run into a guy here in the storm that I can just pick off. Steal some of his loot. That'd be ideal. I don't have a jump pad or anything, I don't think. So. Good luck with the run. Thank you, dude. Honestly, we've turned Fortnite into a running simulator. This is what I love about this game. I want to, like, keep looking to my left and my right, but I know that jumping slightly slows down your running, I believe. Once I get down to 20, I'm going to apply. I don't know what to get myself up to, though, because now I'm losing 2. It's not an extremely... It's not a much farther run, but it's a bit of a farther run. I'll get myself up to, like, 50 or something. Yeah, 50. Okay, that's good. Now, hopefully I can make it from here. If not, I still have 11. So, like, more than likely, I'll still be able to get myself back up to 75, and then I've got my 25 shield. So, I'm, like, I'm not devastated right now. But this definitely hurts, for sure. Gotta take it one little bit at a time. We've got, honestly, really good loot right now, too, which is really nice. So I'm kind of not in the mood to screw this up. Are we going to need to apply? No, come on, we can make it. Right? Right? No, we can't! We all could! I second-guessed myself! I'm such an idiot, dude. I don't think I would have been able to make it. If I did, it would have been, like, the last second. And this is the... God, dude, I second-guessed myself. It's like when you're at a stoplight and the light turns yellow and you're like, oh, I could make it through the intersection, and then, before the light turns red, and then you floor it a little bit, and then you hold back because you realize how far away you are from the intersection, and you're like, you play that game with yourself, dude. That's what that felt like. That's what that felt like. That wasn't unlucky, dude. That was just bad. That was just bad play on my part. You're an idiot? Yo, thanks, Mark. You used the wrong form of yours, so who's the idiot now? Ha! Just kidding, man. Honestly, I love you, dude. Okay. Let me figure out what's going on with the bot now. Because you guys are telling me that you're getting timed out for things that you shouldn't get timed out for. What's up, BO3 Basketball? I bought one of your t-shirts. Yo, thank you. Cool. That's pretty lit, man. Thank you very much for the support. Pistol game? I don't want to do a pistol game, man. Honestly, using pistols are so freaking annoying. I wish it told you what you got timed out for. That's what's weirding me out, man. I don't freaking know, dude. I'm gonna increase the limit of stuff that you can spam a little bit. Honestly, we'll see if that helps. Hey, yo, I'm back. What's up, man? Loot Lake again, man. Honestly, it did well for us. I'm going for it again. It's a pretty uncommon spot too, which is what I like about it. I like trying for pistol only. You may go for a pistol. I feel like a pistol only would be a cool thing to do for like a video. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll record like a pistol-only video game. Are you serious? Everybody just decides that like this is the place to go now. You're all watching my stream, aren't you? Honestly, I'm just gonna land right down here. No, don't you dare, don't you dare. Yeah. No, dude, you're gonna be that guy. Oh my lord. Honestly, I'm just gonna break through this. Give me that. Up there, what was he doing? What was he doing? No way there's a no-kill win. I mean, people have done the no-kill win before. It's difficult for sure, but like, wait, we have a mod who just came in. Yo, Italian Turtle, what's up, man? What's the limit though? Dude, to be honest with you, it's not quantifiable. That's what's so weird. There's something, yeah. Honestly, I think I'm just playing like an idiot, chat. And don't worry, you guys are letting me know. You gonna play zombies? Nah, dude. Like, honestly, I love zombies. I want to keep bringing it to you guys, but I want to bring you guys like a variety of gaming content on my channel. Like, zombies is not sustainable, man. I don't know. I want to do something different. I want to pull a Logan Paul. I want to do something completely different, man. No guns. Go for the no gun challenge. I don't know. Maybe I could do that, but like... And then that ends up becoming boring. I feel like that would be better for a video. Because I feel like when you're doing Fortnite, you're doing like that no gun challenge. I feel like it's almost worse to do it with like, I don't know. Because if you do it in the stream, then you guys are watching me just like sit and hide. You know? I don't know. I feel like that's not as cool. I'm going all the way to Tomato Town, man. If anybody comes there with me, it's rigged. This game's rigged. You just get a W? Yeah, Swinsta. Exactly. That's what I'm feeling. I just have to get a win for something. Dude, Minecraft? You should stream Battlefield? I used to stream Battlefield a lot, actually. I was a big Battlefield guy. The no building challenge? Oh, God. I feel like challenges would actually be kind of cool, man. Not gonna lie. Like, I definitely do want to do some challenges. Like, people like watching challenges. Hey there. Are you... This man's actually going to run away from me? I don't have anything ranged. I get 3 green pumps. Unbelievable. Guy just landed over there, I think. Yep. What's up, bro? Oh, yes, please. Alright, so let me organize here real quick. Do that there. Put that there. We're just going to get rid of that. Perfect. Actually, do both of those things. Alright, where do I go to go now? Actually, you know what? We got to finish exploring. There's still a little bit of stuff around here. What's good, Quantum? How you doing today, man? That was a rip in the chat for that guy. Over at the house. Okay. Can make that jump, chat. Holy God. What the hell? That guy had shield on, bro. Can I not reload? Oh. So I need reloading. Where was that sniper shot from? That hurt. I don't know why I'm peeking it, though. I legit have 10 HP. Honestly, I'm gonna run in the tunnel. If this guy sees me running the tunnel, I'll be so pissed. That's where I gotta go. Okay, doesn't look like anybody was actually already through here. Hell yeah, man. Reward me with something good. I'll take it. I sure I have bandages too. I don't know how I forgot I had those. What's up, X Cool? How you doing today, man? Yo, please, TR Films, do not self-promote in the chat. What's up, Shaken Fella? I bet you the Henis is gonna die by a sniper. I hope not. What's up, Grape Ape? I should play more World War II. Yeah, honestly, I'll just use up all the bandages. I don't care. Dusty Depot, here we come. Maybe I just saw some building up top there, too. Speaking of World War II, did you see my photo on Discord? No, Tom, I did not. I'll check it out, though. I have, like, no wood right now, which really sucks. Do I have an Xbox? No, X-Cool, I do not have an Xbox, man. I have a PS4 and a PC. That is it. Henis, I got some cool stuff for Christmas. Yo, go ahead and let me know in the chat, guys, what the coolest gift you got was for Christmas. I want everybody to answer. You must have gotten something that you would classify as your coolest gift. For sure. Tell Uncle Henis. I want to know what it is. Here we go. Easy. We'll just let them, the two of them fight it out. They'll both get really weak. Or actually, I could just do it like this. Do that. This guy has no idea I'm here now. So the guys could be healing up. Oh. Oh, you both died. Oh, I see. Actually. I'll take that. He must have literally just killed him at the last second. Really? 25 ammo? Are we serious? Is this a thing now? Could have taken the green AR, but it's all Gucci. Whoa. Whoa! I love my snipers, though, man. Freaking love them. What's up, Michael? Where are we headed? There might have been a green pump back there, actually, too, if I remember correctly. That's going to eat me alive now. It's whatever, though. All good, all good. I don't know why I'm pushing through there. We're honestly putting ourselves in a pretty bad spot right now, actually, not going to lie. So we're getting close to the end zone. Or the edge of the storm, I mean. But hopefully that means we can catch a lot of stragglers.
Did you ever beat Evil Santa?
Yes, I did, Remix. I did beat Evil Santa, man. I'm thinking about releasing that video tonight on my channel, because I feel like you guys might really enjoy it. I haven't quite decided yet, though. But I feel like you guys would definitely really enjoy seeing that. Because honestly, that was such a fun stream. That was so cool. We literally managed to beat Santa and save Christmas. Thank you for letting me know. I wasn't really sure how it went. Wait, huh? Did I miss something? You're talking to something else? Uncle Henis, yo, what's up, Sermons? How you doing today, man? Oh, here we go. Are you freaking serious? Oh. I thought it was a person. Got a little bit of time here. Do I see any scars? See a jump pad. I'm liking it. Oh. Ah, shoot. What's up, Violet? What's up, Peanut Man? Heard chest in there, too. Was not expecting that. I like trains. See, what's up, Wake? I know the donations aren't popping up, man. I have no idea why. It's weird, too, because I feel like they're inconsistent sometimes when they pop up. Damn, we should have played that a little bit better. Actually, I don't really know how we would have played that better. I mean, we could have hit our shot, but... It's weird, too, because when you... Like, after I hit... One of the habits that I've developed is if I don't have a dual pump, one of the things that I do is I'll shoot that first pump shot, and then I'll swap to my AR immediately just to try to hip fire. And I feel like that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't, and it really, so much of it comes down to luck. Like, I've had stream highlights where I hit the guy with the pump shot first, switch to the AR hip fire, and I'll get like a one-hit headshot and he's dead, right? If I'm close enough, that first pump shot does enough damage. That sucks, though. I honestly didn't think there was going to be another guy there. Has no billion challenge or no chest challenge, dude. I got to get a win today, man. Honestly, I've been cursed recently on Fortnite. I've been seriously cursed, especially when it comes to playing solo. Like, I've been seriously slacking. Henis, I got the merch. It's litty. Been falling asleep in it. It's that comfy. Dude, it is that comfy, man. You know what was super cool, too? My mom bought my sister some of my merch for Christmas. which was super dope. So when my sister came over today to my dad's place for Christmas morning, she was wearing my merch, which I thought was kind of cool. I don't know. Some of you guys may think that's kind of corny or cheesy or whatever, because, you know, like, you know, family's always going to kind of support you and stuff like that. But, like, I don't know. I just think that's cool. What's up, FaZe? What's up, Devilish? Henis, I got a PC for Christmas. Hey, sweet, that's dope, dude. Dude, get into PC gaming, man. It's lit. It's too much fun. It's too much fun. What's up, Expert? What flavor of GFuel am I drinking? Nade Shots Lemonade, man. Freaking love it. Ah. Nah. Honestly, I'm sick and tired of the high octane stuff, man. Honestly, like, I feel like I play a little bit better if I can, like, get some good supplies, figure out where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of go from there. Your sister has your merch. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, it is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I don't want to go to... Nah, I'm not going to Salty Springs either. F that. Let's go to Dusty. I feel like a lot of people are already going there, though. Shoot, so I don't know. Do 50v50. 50v50 might be a more cool thing just chilling, you know what I'm saying? Actually, lol, dude, like one guy's going Dusty Depot. 2 guys. 3 guys. Was there any weapon on either one of these roofs? That's not a weapon, that's just ammo. Is this a weapon? This is a pistol. I'm honestly taking it. Are you serious? He's dancing too. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Dude, that's the first time I've ever had that happen to me. I've never been hit with that before. God damn it. That was awful. I never want to experience that again. That was way too terrifying. Was that everybody? I don't know. I don't know. Thank God, shield potion. Nobody's been in here then, I'm guessing. Hell yeah. Oh, blue burst. I'll take it. Okay. Hide right here. I just here's something going on over there. Honestly, give me this. Couple of bursts. I'll take it. Here we go. Gunfight right over here. I need some bandages, man. I'm going for it, brothers. The burst AR, dude, is complete butt cheeks. I absolutely hate this weapon. I feel like if you land your shots and that all comes down to bloom, then it becomes a god tier weapon. Once they remove bloom in this game, mark my words, it'll become one of the best weapons in the game. I'm calling it right now. Oh, dude, I honestly hate when my game does that. I can't even... Okay. Oh, God. What's up, Bilal? How you doing today, man? What's up, Ted? What's up, Bob Jeep? Please do a final kill by trap. Yo, dude. Honestly, I'm just trying to get a win here, man. I don't know. I'm not taking special requests. Honestly, what do I want? Honestly, since this is only one shield potion, I get nades. I'm going with nades. Nades are going to help me more in the long run. Where do I want to go from here? I guess I want to just head further into the safe zone, right? We'll head into Salty Springs. We'll kind of explore around there. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Oh, yes, please, Daddy. Really? This dude didn't have any rocket ammo. Like, none. Zip. Okay. Yeah, that's alright. Actually, whoa. That guy's rocket ammo. Woo! Please tell me you had a sniper. Oh, you did not. Okay, that is fine. No worries. 2 rocket ammo? For real? Like, you're actually serious? Like, that's not a joke? Okay. No biggie. I'll take that. Okay, I'm starting to feel like I'm warming up here a little bit, chat. Let's freaking get it. What's up, Joe? What's up, Clorox Bleach? Welcome to the stream, guys. I want a sniper. Honestly, that blinking traffic thing freaked the hell out of me. Because I thought it was a...
Do you remember me?
Dude, honestly, I absolutely hate the trees here. They're so super annoying. Oh. Ah, shoot. Shoot, chat. God damn it, man. Alright, you know what? Honestly, we're sacrificing the double pump. It has to happen. Check this. I mean, if we got shields and that, I'm honestly taking it. Yo, Cameron, yes, Cameron Ice, I do remember you, buddy. Welcome back to the stream, my guy. Hopefully you're having a good one. Hopefully you had a very Merry Christmas, my man. Thank you very much for your donation. Yo, let's get a Cameron spam in the chat, guys. Appreciate it. Why the hell did you shoot, Henis? Oh, God. Holy Lord. One pumped him right to the face. I'm going to assume that you did not have any shield on. Let me go ahead and apply my shield first of all. Please don't tell me anybody's looking at me right now. Please, please, please. Thank you. Give me that. Actually, what do I want more? Do I want this or do I want this? Yeah, I definitely want that. Definitely want that. And then... Okay, all you gotta do is hit your shots, guys. Doesn't matter how many shots you hit, you just gotta hit the right ones. That's the motto for today's stream. That's all you gotta take away. I hate this situation right now, honestly, because I don't know what to do. Taking this loot, man. And I'm running with it. There's 6 kills. Honestly, chat, I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Ah! You don't take damage, thank you. I could have sworn I saw a shield. I just want to check. I saw it was blue. Nope, it's not a shield. Feels sad. I think there was just a sniper shot over here. Yep. I was right. Honestly, I thought I heard a shot closer than that. That was weird. Are you freaking serious? Ooh, I didn't mean to shoot right there. I didn't want to shoot right there. I see him. He's running back. We got space and time. We got nothing but time, baby. You're not expecting me to push up here, are you? Correction. I hope you're not expecting me to push up. He definitely ran back, right? Like, that's, yeah, that's confirmation. Right over there by that tree. Wow, really? Thank the Lord, bro. Whew! God! Oh my God, dude. Honestly, I can't take this stress. I can't take it. I can't take it. I invested 3,000 below? Holy jeez. What did you invest 3,000 in, man? That's a lot of money, dude. A lot of money. Okay. Why did I drop that again? I don't know. Honestly. Just keep on moving. Get the upper ground. We are currently in the safe zone. So I'm kind of in this predicament where I don't really know what to do. And I don't really know where to go. I guess I'm honestly just looking for signs of people around me. I don't know, bro. We got a decent amount of building supplies, too, which is good. I assume that guy looted everything. Yo, Griff raid. Yo, Griffin, I appreciate the raid, homie. You're an absolute legend. Let's get a Griffin spam in the chat, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Griffin, thank you, my guy. Thank you. Thank you for that love and support, homie. Appreciate it. Welcome all you Griff Raiders. Make sure you guys drop a like in the stream if you're new. Looking to get my first dub of the day, dude. Like, sheesh. Sheesh, man. Oh, God. Wow, that actually low-key saved me. That little bump right there. That was all I needed. That sounded way too close. Henis, why did you do that? No! Oh, God. The bloom! The bloom! Holy frick, dude. That was awful. That was awful, man. Holy Jesus. Please tell me you had everything I'm hoping for and more. Honestly, I'm satisfied so far. I'm actually pretty satisfied. Super satisfied, not gonna lie. Didn't drink that. I'm honestly keeping those, though. Not even gonna lie. Wait a minute, I want that. Honestly, you notice, like, all of my kills come from me just building up and using the pump shotgun. It's so interesting. Did I just see a guy? If I did, dude, he's super screwed. Ha! You're gonna die down there, loser. I gotta get to high ground, though. I'm in literally a nightmarish position right now. And I'm so super uncomfortable using these stairs. Break it. I honestly should have grabbed the bandages. What was I thinking? I have 1 shield potion. I'm literally right in the middle. I should have like the best 360 view of everything right now. Freaking serious. He's healing up. He's building. Ooh, wee, bro. Oh, no way. No way you had that. No way. God bless your soul, dude. Cameron, thank you very much for the donation, man.
I watch your bids all day and you make my day, thanks.
Freaking love you too, dude. Now allow me some time to make sure I don't freaking screw this up. Push over this way. I don't like put my back to that much. You're freaking serious, dude. He's gonna be camping the drop. If that guy snipes me, I'm gonna be so mad. Can I not build? No! 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 Why was that? Why was the gun not shooting, dude? That shot stayed on him. What the? That guy was so bad. Oh my lord. God. Jesus, man. I'm good. Where's my mouse? Oh, there it is. What's up, Brooklyn? What's up, Pro Man? Merry Christmas, everybody. Yo, Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, man. Henis, what was that? Dude, did you see? Like, I hit 2 shots on the man with the green pump. It's like the best pump in the game. You're telling me 1 pump at that close? Like, honestly, I started to try to build, and then honestly... I thought that probably went a lot better than it actually did. Long time no see, Henis. Remember me from the BO3 days? Yeah, Half-Life, I do remember you, man. Do remember you. On the road to 250k subs. On the road, man. Hopefully we'll get there soon. Oh God. God damn it. God damn it. What is that? 2 top 5s today? Honestly, man, maybe I should just jump off the map and take an L, kill myself. Had us no chest this game, dude. I'm not, guys. I'm not trying to like present myself with more challenges than I need to. I literally just need to win a game. That's literally what I need to do. What's up, Epic Sands? Henis, please go to Greasy Grove this round. All right, RNJ, Elliot, for you, man, I will go to Greasy Grove. All right, I got you. I'll go to Greasy Grove. Even though I'm in, like, literally the worst position to go to Greasy Grove. Where's HGG going? I never see him in the chat anymore. Honestly, bro. I'm not really sure. Yo, what's up, Callum? Well, why did you get the message deleted by Nightbot, bro? What on earth? Dude. Why did Callum get timed out? What the hell? Yo, untime out my man Callum. I can't untime him out. Yo. That makes no sense. I don't know why Nightbot did that. Yeah, what the hell's going on, Nightbot? That's an automated thing, too. I don't have my settings set to anything like that, bro, so I don't know. Nightbot needs to calm down. Nightbot needs to sit down and learn its place. Like, sheesh. Okay. I'm honestly, guys, on the road to becoming the best Fortnite player. I think that's really all you guys got to take away from this. There's bandages there. Trust me when I say, chat, this is all a work in progress. I love when I don't find any chests in the first house I go to. Why are there only shotguns here? Wait, where are the freaking stairs in this place? Oh, are you freaking serious? Okay. There we go. Come to Papa. Ooh, wait a minute. Do we want that? Low key? Actually, you know what? No, we don't. We don't, Henis. Stop. Alright, yo. Are we good? We're good. Let's just honestly, let's go try to find some people. Think some stuff is happening over here. I'm telling you guys, I think one of the big things that I really got to work on is just my building. And I think that's like something I've been trying to focus on recently. But yo, Christian Chang, thank you very much for the donation, my guy. I appreciate that. Yo, let's get a Christian spam in the chat, dudes. Thank you, my man, for that dono. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. That was honestly... dude. I don't know why, like... I don't know. What's that thing in your 4th slot? What do you mean? I think I had... So I had AR, shotgun, grenade AR. That's what I had. What's up, Eric? What's up, William? How you doing today, man? Yo, so we went to Greasy Grove. Honestly, didn't really work out too well for us. Do I have the dance fresh? Yes, I do. Go to Loot Lake for my sick grandma. Yo, I got you, bro. I got you. Yo, hopefully your sick grandma gets unsick soon. Henis, you're awesome. Yo, thank you, RNJ. Appreciate it, man. Ow! Haha, I made you fall off, loser. Dude, look at that. Look how long that takes to pick up. That's just crazy. What's RNG? Random number generator. So it's pretty much something that video games use to randomize something. So RNG is, or what's referred to as bloom in this game, is something that happens when you, like in your shot. So like when you're aiming at an object, you'll notice that not every single bullet will always hit right where your crosshair is located. And that's because I think from what I've read or from what I've heard from people, there's like a little circle around your actual reticle, and there's a random number generator within there as well. So I think there's like it's like RNG within RNG, which is like, it's like nested RNG, which is like terrible. Yo, Callum, no worries, brother. I appreciate it though, man. I appreciate it a ton. Thank you. Honestly, can I go for that? If I don't get this, you guys do realize I'm dead, right? Like, haha. Oh. Oh, that I took that much damage from that. That was great. Oh, God. Oh, my God, thank you. What the frick, dude? How many people are here? Everybody's running around. And then there's just one guy, dude. Yo, Elite Gamers, thank you very much for the $1 donation. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate it, brother. Honestly, I like... That was just bad luck, I think. That was bad luck. John Malone. What I miss? Sniper Pro? Not a whole lot, man. Yo, just literally, honestly, just ripping. Ripping, man. Like, I see, and I think that's a position right there where I'm literally like, the shot is on him. You know what I'm saying? The shot is on him, and it's just not landing. That was Bloom. That was Bloom all the way. Nothing else that could be. Go to Anarchy Aches. Yo, somebody asked me to go to the racetrack. I'm going to go to the racetrack. I'm going to the racetrack. Yo, but what's good, Mitch? Mitchy Daddy. Mitchy Daddy. Welcome to the stream, man. Appreciate it. Yo, I got to add a... You know what? I got to add something on my mic here after this. Yo, hopefully everyone had a great Christmas, though, guys. Hopefully you guys all had a fantastic Christmas. Guys are all chilling. You know what I'm saying? Chilling like a villain. Dude, I'm just going to chill with solos right now, dude. Honestly, I may play duos in a little bit just because I am getting a little bit, like, irritated, not even going to lie. But, like, here, let me go ahead and demonstrate Bloom for you guys, all right? I got to do it on somebody who's AFK. Look at this. I'm going to take my crosshair, put it right on this guy's head. Shot hit. Can you not, dude? 1, 2. Like, that shot didn't hit. That shot didn't hit. Yo, dude, honestly, you're like a peasant, you know that? Shot doesn't hit. Like, see that? Like, you can kind of tell. You don't need me to keep doing it, but like, there are shots that are right on this dude's head. They're just not hitting. That's what Bloom is. Those are you guys who don't know. So I'm going to the racetrack for the squad. Whoever asked for it, I'm going for you. Is that somebody I know? I don't know. Did I buy a sock for my mic? I did, yeah. It's going to be coming on Thursday. Thursday is the date, man. Alright, honestly, I'm just going to get right out if we're going to racetrack. I had this little pimple, bro, right on the lower part of my lip. It's pissing me off. What color? What do you mean? Oh, it's a pink sock. It's a pink sock. It's what the chat wanted, so... You know, we just do what the people want out here. If you want to win, do a 50v50. No, like, yeah, 50v50 wins aren't even that hard, though. Is there really just one other guy coming here? Alright, man, let's tussle it out, bro. I'm down, dog. I hope you get crappy weapons, then I just absolutely destroy you. Honestly, so far, chat, this ain't looking too good for me. And before that guy's got like a scar. What's up, Nicole? Welcome to the stream. What is this? What is this right here? Green AR. Hell yeah! Ooh, that range though. Damn. Alright, yo, you had some good stuff, low-key. Let me go ahead and cop all this, man. Yeah, I'm gonna take that, and then we're just gonna go like that, and then actually for this, we're just gonna go right like that. Okay, perfect. Let's get our groove back on, baby. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling it. Let me go ahead and grab this car right here. Bang, bang, shaka-laka, bang. What's up, Nicole? What's up, Lance?
No prob.
No problem. Honestly, Elite, thank you. Thank you for donating to say no problem after I said thank you for your donation. Love when people do that. Da-na-da-na-na-na. Oh, it's right there. I didn't think it was right there. Oh, wait a minute, chat. I'm in a dilemma. I'm taking the boogie bomb. Not even gonna lie. Oh, yes, this guy's right here. Please don't notice me. Please don't notice me. Okay, we're just gonna run. We're just gonna run right after him, guys. We're gonna hope that he doesn't notice. We're gonna boogie bomb him. I think this guy has any supplies. Wait, why didn't they not start dancing, bro? What was that? Did I forget to do something? Nah, you're just supposed to impact him, right? The flippin' hell was that? Was definitely that had to be close enough to him. Unless did they reduce the impact range on that? I hope not, dude. Jesus. If they reduce the impact range on that, dude, and that's the end result, that's actually terrible. Guy right up there. Are you serious? No way. I'm not gonna let this happen to me. I'm not letting this happen to me. No way. No way. How does that happen to me, but not to the other guy? What is that? Oh my.
This super chat donation is no pro, bro.
You might want to change your title. Yeah, from like win, win, win to just lose, lose, lose. What was that? What was that? And how come he wasn't affected by that? Because it is an impact thing where you should be like, you're also too affected by the booginess. Honestly, I don't even want to know. Henis, the top right of Wailing Woods, there's a house with 3 chests. You can go there. All right, top right of Wailing Woods. Got it. That's where I'm going next. Honestly, don't give a frick anymore. We got to do something, because I can tell you right now what we're doing right now, this ain't working. So we're going to spice it up a little bit. Do something to spice up our game, man. I see a lot of people asking to go. I see RJ. He really wants me to go to the prison. I'm going to add the prison to my list, man. We're going to go to the prison too. But I'll start out with Wailing Woods. Like, I know there's a lot of good loot spots, all right? But like, so sad, man. So sad. A type right of Wailing Woods. All right, so I'm just getting out immediately then. I hope you're talking about this house right here, man. I think you are. I'll donate 20 bucks if you change it to lose, 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 or lose, lose, and lose again. Thanks for telling me to go here, chat. I appreciate it. I appreciate it for real. Just tell me there's something in here. Just tell me. No. Are you seriously gonna go for me first? Ow. Oh, man. I don't know, man. Like, you gotta have a dual pump, I think. If you don't have the dual pump, then you shoot too slow. That's my problem. Shoot too slow if you don't have the double pump. Like, I know it does a lot of damage, but there's way too much time between each pump. That's all I'm saying. That's my biggest annoyance right now with that weapon. I don't think I even want to push into here. This is just a death trap in here. That's all this is, man. I think I literally just saw a guy. Now we're going this way. Another example of where Bloom just did not favor that guy, man. That's all I'm saying. What do coins do? You can use coins to enter into giveaways that I do at the end of every month. Or you can use coins to redeem items from the loyalty shop. Holy crap, I just got melted. What's up, Seaberg? How you doing today, man? Do I know Music? I have no idea who that is now. That guy just absolutely melted me. I may go ahead and try to get a duo set up here soon. I don't know. Let's see who's even on. Yo, who's even online, bro? Who is even online? Am I gonna play any custom zombies map? No, not today, man. Henis, is Fortnite like your new favorite game? To go to my friend's house and we both play Fortnite. And I like the whole time, and I love Fortnite. It's amazing. Yeah, Fortnite is awesome. Going to watch a Jake Paul video because my day is too happy, bro. I actually watched a Jake Paul video today, and it made me like I hated it. I hated it. No billiard. Edwin, you don't want billiard? Why not? You not like billiard? You're not a fan of him? Do I have a PS4? I do have a PS4, man, but I don't play Fortnite on it. I kind of low-key got a pee, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, I'm out here playing Fortnite, you know what I'm saying? Is Fortnite free? Yes, it is. There's a link in the description down below, actually, if you want to download it. It is 100% free. I think I got to do some Fortnite challenges, man. That's what I got to do.
Just died on round 143. Horizon Draka, no perks.
No perks? Sheesh. That's actually pretty crazy. No perks? God damn. Round 143? Well, okay, it's the Horizon Drac. I mean, that's still pretty cool, though, man. Not gonna lie. What's the record for no perks on Horizon Drac? I don't even know. But yo, Elite Gamers, thank you very much for a $2 donation, man. I appreciate it. All right, somebody really wants me to go get billiard, and I said get ocean, but I like billiard more. Oh, you like billiard more. You like billiard more. Oh, yeah, no. The people like billiard, man. The good people like billiard. Let's see if he's on. Billiard is not on right now, unfortunately. All right, where did somebody else want me to go? I completely forget. Somebody wanted me to go to the prison. Where the hell is the prison? Is this the prison? I actually have no idea where the prison is. No, that's the prison, right? Yeah, that's the prison. Yeah. We're going all the way to the prison, my guys. Rainbow challenge, the no chest challenge. I definitely want to do some Fortnite challenges for you guys. I don't really know what those are going to be yet, but I definitely want to record some. I feel like that'd be dope. Do a no-kill game. Oh my god, could you imagine? What's up, Scrummy? How you doing today, my man? Amazing, you're my role model? Yo, Jay, you're my freaking idol, dude. I idolize you, man. Even though I have no idea who you are. Revolver only? Man, I hate the revolver, dude. I would honestly rather do, like, SMG only. I think the SMG is the worst weapon in this game. Any SMG. Don't care if it's white or green or blue. Worst weapon in the game. Just throwing that out there. I think it's absolute garbage. Nobody else came here? Hell to the yeah, my dudes. Let's freaking get our loot on, man. If I spy anybody else here, they are getting absolutely dropped. Mark my words. Hell yeah. I'm liking the greens so far. I can rock with it. That's something that's like actually starting to slowly piss me off. The whole like you gotta reinitiate your move thing after you've gone to your thing. Yo, but Sean Sparks, thank you very much for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Can we get it? Sean spam in the chat for that dollar dono. Appreciate it, my guy. Where is it? Just right up there? Hold on. I'm gonna need some supplies anyways. It's gotta be up here, chat. Before I get sniped. Oh, it's right there. Haha! Actually, no. I'll take that. Wow, so it was on that side, really? Thought it was higher up than that. That's why I built up. Main. But yo, Sean, definitely do appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Can we get a Sean spam in the chat? Ladies and gents, I'd appreciate it. Alright, we'll push this way. We have to, like, check all the levels here. Because I, like... If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure there's, like, a good amount of loot here. There should be more than... How many chests have I opened up? 2 or something? Should be more. Dude. I hate how much space I have on my keyboard right now. Or on my desk. I don't think it's enough. I keep accidentally hitting my, keyboard with my mouse, which is why I accidentally click like that. Hell yeah, dude. Get the basketball game going on. I was already through here. God damn it. I'll see, if I searched everything, I might have. Thank God I didn't stop. Whew. What's up, Blakey? How you doing today? As you guys can see, we're playing this first part very, very passive. Go to Loot Lake next. I don't know, maybe. Okay, I think we've checked everything. Honestly. I don't think there's any other, like, hidden places that we gotta go. Oop. Right as I say that, right? Always gotta check. I think this is an outside wall, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Ooh, yes please, dude. Here we go. Oh, shoot. My bad. Why are the graphics different? It should be a little bit brighter, man. It might be a little bit different because I'm playing on the PC. So it might look a little weirder. Just simply because I have my graphics turned down a little bit so I get better FPS. Alright, 100 health and 100 shield. Let's freaking kill it, dude. Let's move, let's move, let's move. I all of a sudden have to pee really badly. So we're going to use this as my motivation to play well. Or I could use it as motivation to like end the game really quickly and just kill myself. I dropped my bandages, didn't I? I just realized that. I'm such an idiot. I didn't mean to pick up 3 ARs. No biggie, though. Since we have full health, you know what I'm saying? Yo, what's good, gameplays? How you doing today, babe boy? Welcome to the stream, dude. Welcome to the stream. Wish I had binoculators, man. I can't tell if that's been opened or not. I would imagine it has. Imagine if it hasn't, though. Actually, it doesn't look like it has. It hasn't. That's absolutely lit. Anybody got eyes on me right now? Ooh, I'm actually glad I checked that. Nice. Got a good amount of AR. Did nobody come here? Yes, they did. Obviously, somebody came here. And made off with the loot. 30 people remaining and I got 0 kills. That's what I get for spawning at the prison, though, honestly. A situation like that. Most of the time, it depends on where the bus comes in, but I was like, nah, dude. I'm doing it for the fans, going straight to the prison. What are coins for? So ProBot gives you 10 coins every 10 minutes, and then you guys can use those coins to enter into giveaways that I do at the end of every month on my channel, or you can redeem them from items right in the loyalty shop. Honestly, kind of wonder if I want to go back to the tactical. Ooh. I go use the bathroom. Oh my lord. He killed himself and he killed me. Unreal. How do you check your coins? Type exclamation point coins in the chat. Imagine just killing yourself because you really don't want to let the guy kill you that bad. So you're like, you know what? Just take the... As soon as I saw him with that RPG out, I was like, oh, it's freaking over, man. That's a rip. I honestly wonder if I can get away with, like, turning my graphics up a little bit. We turn shadows to, like, medium. And textures to, like, medium. And effects to, like, medium. I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't, like... Oh, Jesus, yo. Yo, wait a minute. Why do I have shadows on? Holy Jesus. What am I, a freaking tryhard, man? Holy God. Okay, that definitely helps increase FPS a little bit. I'm honestly hoping this looks pretty slight, though. This actually looks pretty nice, not gonna lie. Go to Loot Lake? Alright, I'll go to Loot Lake. What's up, Cozy? You didn't wash your hands? Dude, I didn't even need to touch my penis, bro. I just opened up the lid, aimed. I'm standing right there. No need to wash the hands. I'm going right to Loot Lake, bros. You guys are calling it. What's up, Bob Jeep? I'm getting, like, unusually hungry right now, too. I don't know why. I've already been streaming for 2 hours. That's actually crazy. What's up, Blakey? What's up, Cameron? Hey, what's up, SHS? How you doing today? Welcome to the stream. I hate going to the middle of the lake just because you can never get enough supplies then to get yourself out. But honestly, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It's tempting, but I'm not doing it. What's up, Ismail? What's up, Caden? The one house challenge? Dude, that's actually impossible. Unless you got super lucky to the point where your very first landing location, are you freaking serious, was actually like the final zone. Honestly, nothing but love for this game, chat. Especially this loot, dude. Damn. Somebody had me in mind, bro. Give me the good stuff. I see you, chat. Chat just going over here. Watch, I'm just going to get melted right off the bat. I feel it. Magnum right there. I'm not taking it. It's not worth my time. Is there seriously no chest here? Holy Lord, am I getting railed right now. I have a thought. Search. There better be a chest in there, man. If there ain't a chest in here, thank God. Honestly, I got 90 wood right now. What do I want to do? Honestly, you know what I'm doing, boys? We're flipping sending it, chat. Jake Paulers, are we out here? Don't fall into the water, whatever you are. Thank you. Honestly, I could go out to get more of those chests because there's like one on every single boat. But not worth my time, I don't think. Okay, so push over here now. Oh, unsubbing, we don't like Jake Paul? That's right, man. I don't either, actually. Hell yeah, dude. Chest up there. Win the game by the storm? You mean like trap the last guy in the storm? That's kind of fun to do, I'm not gonna lie. You gotta get somebody who's really bad, though. Also not gonna lie. Dude, honestly. What is this luck I'm getting right now with weapons? First air, I hope to dear God that's a pump over there. I don't think it is. Nope, it's an SMG, bro. Literally, get done talking about how trash SMGs are. Game hits me with that RNG. Love it. Honestly, Fortnite, I know you're listening. Stop doing this to me, man. Stop doing it to me. I'm actually at a complete loss of where to go right now. Honestly, I should just head more east. That's what I should be doing. Head towards Dusty Depot a little bit. Get more towards the middle of the map. You know what I'm saying? Find some more kills. Get some better loot. We got a 50 shield and 100 health. Which, I mean, not a bad place to be right now. But it could be better. Am I on PC, Xbox, or PS4? I'm on the PC, my guy. Dun it. Dun it. Dun it. Dun it. I. Hell yeah. Perfect. Let's go for it. I need to get some trees as well. Yo, what's up, Ranger Chris? How you doing today, man? What's the no skydive challenge? You just go down without a parachute? Or no, you obviously have to pull out a parachute, but you don't dive at all. You just like wait until the end and then land there. Honestly, and win a game. I feel like that's actually might not actually be the hardest thing to do ever. Could be wrong, but I feel like that might not actually be that bad. Look at that chest just sitting there waiting for me. It's like it was made for me. Oh, that's right. I can't drink those. Okay, well, I'm gonna put those there then. Get rid of those. Now we know what we're taking. Alright, let's get it. If only we had those mini potions earlier, we could have had 100 shield. Feel sad. I didn't realize we had 50. I just wasn't thinking. Alright, Dusty Depot it is. Just parachute in once out of the bus, but you can't nosedive. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would suck, actually. But you can parachute wherever you want. Okay. Interesting. You just can't look down. Yeah, that's a bit of luck, too. It's not even like a skill thing. I mean, then again, a lot of Fortnite challenges are, because when you think about it, so much of it depends on where you land, you know? It's like if you land in a good spot, then you're going to get good loot. It's really so much of what it comes down to. Which I'm not against. Just saying. It's how pretty much any battle royale has to be played. Unless you just spawn everyone in with ARs. Which, I mean, I guess you could do. I don't think people would really like that, though. What have I freaking stumbled upon here? Just a scar? Freaking chillin'? Yo, somebody's definitely out here on drugs, dude. Go ahead and get that. Wow, okay. How do you check coins? Type exclamation point coins in the chat, man. That's how you'll be able to check. Already down to 24 people. What's up, Calvin? How you doing today, man? Yo, I apologize for like these streams do when I'm like extremely quiet, but like at the same time, this is when the focus comes out. All right, we do the hokey pokey, turn ourselves around. That's what it's all about, man. What's up, Raphael? Yeah, someone has to be on drugs to leave a scar. Yeah, pretty much. Unless they had a gold scar, which I guess is possible. I guess that's possible. I didn't realize we weren't heading into the safe zone. What do you want to try to do to this guy, chat? He's just running with his pickaxe out. On what planet, dude? What? What? Come again? Hello? The hell was that? How many coins do I have? Type exclamation point coins in the chat, guys, if you want to check how many coins you have. Alright, you know what? Honestly, not that big of a deal. You know, honestly, we just played that guy. I actually, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't know what we did wrong. I guess we could have just hit our pump shots better, but, like, that's why you really need, like, if you can get yourself a dual pump. It's like, literally orgasmic. It changes the entire mechanic of the game. If you can get 2 pumps, you're literally set. In situations like that, if you have 2 green pumps, he's dead. Literally 2 shots, and he's just gone. Obliterated. Like, literally his existence on the universe is just erased. He won't know what to do with his life. Other than be like, wow, I just got outplayed and outgunned and just outslayed. That guy is a god. When in actuality, it's just, you know, something that shouldn't be in the game, in my opinion. There! I said it. Dual pump shouldn't be in the game. This shouldn't be a thing. In my opinion. In my very own humble opinion. This man's going over here to check all this loot. I respect that. I respect that. What's that down there? Don't turn around. Look at the bloom, dude. I guarantee he was affected by that too. I should be dead. Well, then again, I probably should have killed him anyways. But, like, holy crap, my guy. Like, that was just sad. That was just really sad. What's up, Jackson? How you doing today, man? Have I seen the new Star Wars? I have not, no. I kind of want to cry after that, not gonna lie. Honestly, chat, ask me if I care. Oh my god, this guy's right here. He has no idea. Another free kill. I'll take it. Just like, is there a single player in this game that has a sniper? Or no? Don't tell me there's a guy up there, dude. If there is, I'm gonna cry. That was a gold scar, wasn't it? Yep. No, it wasn't. That was a sniper! Ah! No. You put that down and you shouldn't have. Oh, Jesus Christ, bro. Where was that from? Oh, shoot, he's right there. Ah. Dude, how, man? I'm hit by... Dude, I want to see how much health he had. He still had 83 health. That's absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. What's up, Sereno? How you doing today? Yo, Ocean, I'm down to play duos, man. Honestly, I'm down to play duos. No snipers feel sad. I don't know how that first shot didn't hit when he was on that ramp. But Ocean, yeah, I'm down, man. I'm down. Hey, what's up, Josemos, bro? You got your first win today? Hey, that's litty, dude. That's litty. Yo, congrats, my guy. Congrats. Alright. Yo, Ocean, I'm down, man. Let me go ahead and give you a ring, bro.
Yo, what's up?
Yo, it's Gucci.
Dude, I don't understand why every time I, like, you know, stream,
Yeah?
ads, man, literally every time.
What happens?
I get limited no ads.
Oh, really? Yeah. This man ain't even online yet. That's some freaking age,
I
dude.
just literally just ended my thing.
Alright, alright.
Yeah.
Do I think the Black Knight is worth it? I don't know, man. It kind of depends. What's up? Yo. Edwin says hi, Ocean.
Yo, what's good, man?
Honestly, dude, I need this duo because I've been getting slapped out here today.
Yo, how was your Christmas?
Yo, honestly, man, my Christmas is pretty good. I got a new capture card. Can you tell? Is the stream a little bit smoother?
I don't know. I'm lagging. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You've always kind of had that issue.
Like, I don't get it. And the first time forever, I didn't have a hat on the stream.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Loading. Yeah. My bad for the wait.
Oh, man.
I was enjoying you.
Billiard is amazing at this game, to be honest. Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's pretty legit at this game.
Yo, where is he?
I have no idea.
He wants to play duo, not duos with squad. You know, let's go for the window this time.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, man.
What is going on with my computer? I think this thing's about to self-destruct.
How long have I known Billiard, Ocean, and Ray? Ocean, how long have I known you for? It's been a long time.
Since the RC when you got picked up.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So that was about 2 years ago?
Yeah, almost 3 years going on now.
Yeah, 2.5 years or so. Yeah, and then I've known Billiard for 3 years, 3.5 years. Ray, I've known for shorter. I forget how long I've known Rain for. Merry Christmas. What's up, little pump? Ocean is really quiet. Is he really? Oh, let me turn him out. You talk now?
Yo, what's up, chat?
Alright, now you're really loud.
Oh dang.
Hey, let's go to Pleasant. Yo, you wanna go to Pleasant?
Where is that at? I'm down.
Alright. RNJ wants to go to Pleasant, so I'm feeling it. Hallelujah.
Hey, yo.
What's up, Evade? Alright, let's get it. Yeah, I'm low-key getting hungry. I don't know how many more games I'm gonna play, but... And you said Pleasant? Yeah, I know, bro. I'm going to Pleasant, man. Talk about.
Yo, what's good, people? It's Alan from YouTube. Oh, I know who you are, bro. You got the same username.
I'm watching your Wipeout live stream. Hey, that was honestly really fun. I loved that. That was a really cool map. I subbed and liked. Yo, thank you, Cena. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's a lot of people going here, unfortunately.
Easy win. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
What's up, boys?
What's up, Seaberg? How you doing today, man? All right, I'm going to this back garage right here.
Back garage. Oh, you over there.
I got a grenade launcher and a potion. Are you here?
On the other side. I got a 3-round burst. Oh, yo. Knockout.
Yo, no way. Alright. I don't have anything. Just so you know.
I come over here then.
Please kill that guy. Please kill that guy. Oh my god. Wait, please tell me you died.
This man has a shotgun and a full shield, bro.
Oh, let's go. Oh, are you good? No, you're down.
Nah, I'm dead, dude. He's gotta kill me.
God damn it. Yeah, I literally just had like the most biggest clutch up of my whole life. Ooh, baby.
Play the game out. Flash King gang, what's good, man?
You want to play the game out?
Yeah, play the game out. How was your Christmas? Did you eat today? I didn't eat yet, man. The only thing I had this morning was a bacon, egg, and cheese, and that's literally it. There's a sniper right there.
I already have one.
Oh, dang.
Actually, wait a minute. The hell? Let me up.
I actually knocked somebody down. Where I died at, I knocked somebody down at that other house.
Where?
To the right. Where I died at?
Right there? In front of me?
Yeah, in front of you, but to the left then. Oh, you
Okay,
see him,
so that
you see
one?
him. Yeah, you see him. You just scoped in at him.
Yep.
Red Knight looks sick. Yeah, I got it, man. What's up, Tiger? Is he a bush?
Hello?
Yeah, he's a bush.
Yeah, he is.
Stop. Oh. See the guy across the street, right? He's gonna get pushed from behind. Yeah, what's good? Dude, I'm dropping frames. Why? So guys, chat, is it good now? I literally just dropped 6,000 frames in a second.
Honestly, bro, like, I don't get that at all. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Dude, why am I dropping frames? Did my family cook
What's up,
today,
Mekhi?
bro?
How you doing today? Welcome to the
My
stream.
mom cooked. Hold on, chat. Hold up.
God damn.
Dude, I just dropped 6,000 frames, 7,000 frames. I don't know why.
You were sounding fine for me, so I don't know if it's. I don't think it's your internet. What's up, Peter? How you doing today, man? Yeah, what'd you get your family for Christmas?
I gave my mom $500 to get that pocketbook she wants.
You didn't just buy the pocketbook?
Bro, I don't know what the.
Come on, man. You gotta be a better son than that.
I mean, my mom be crazy. and stuff. She got me a Gucci belt though.
I saw that, dude. I was like, literally. When you texted that to me, I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no. What is Ocean streaming on? Yo, well, you're streaming on Twitch right now, right?
I can't stream.
Why'd you just say you dropped frames then?
Hello?
You just said you dropped frames?
Yeah, I'm dropping frames like crazy.
But you're not streaming.
I am streaming right now.
Okay, that's what yeah.
Left it on.
Oh, okay. God damn, this is the, wait a minute. 22 seconds from the, damn, okay, we got a little bit of time.
Yeah,
go to racetrack.
Yo, guys, go to Henis' stream. I can't do nothing. It's like lagging.
I don't want to go to racetrack right now. Let's go to, want to go to Salty?
Yeah, let's go there.
Let's get it. And you don't have these siblings, right?
No, I'm only child.
I love your video. Yo, thank you, Sniper Pro. I appreciate it, man. Yo, Ocean, Loki, I may have the opportunity to meet you this summer. Like before the house.
Oh, word?
Yeah. I'm gonna be in New York in late June.
Oh, dang.
Yo, so if you're down to hang, bro, I'm gonna be down to hang. What?
Bro, it says I'm still streaming, bro. What? I ended it, dude.
Oh, that's you. There's a guy in here, just so you know. He just set up a trap. He just put up a trap.
Yeah, I know that.
Do I seriously not have any supplies?
I got three.
Can you build up to the top?
The trap's right here. At the top
Yeah,
of the stairs.
can you destroy it or no? You got him?
No, it's still there.
Honestly, chat, Bloom is insane. They're coming up to you. I can't build up, dude, because I don't have any supplies. There's another guy. Got him. Is the trap cleared or no?
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
Okay, another guy coming to the front door. Oh shoot, yo, they're right here. They're right here. They're right here.
Bro, I have 20 spells.
I'm backing up. Yeah, I'm backing up. I'm just dropping down. I'm just dropping down.
Hold up.
Still on the roof, I think.
Dude, he's on right here behind a counter. He's gonna kill me. They're both there.
I've got 5 bullets left. Honestly, it's gonna be a near miracle if I can do anything right now.
Oh, I know why I was lagging, bro.
A Windows update or something?
Henis is about to roast me, chat. Henis is about to roast me. Bro, bro, I was streaming.
Oh, it's Avery! Yo, what? Yo, of course he's playing duos, man. Avery.
Oh, no. Bro, I was streaming to South Korea. Or South Africa, bro. Oh, boy.
Yo, he's got to be saying something on stream. Yo, thanks for killing me, you jerk. You jerk. That was me. This man has 5 kills. His teammate's dead, though. Who's his teammate? Who's he playing with?
Fire random.
Ready up. Who's he playing with?
Is it over? Not yeah, guys. So reason why I was lagging is because I was streaming
Yo,
on the South America.
Dude, when I heard you say that, I was like, Avery killed you. Yo, thanks, Connor. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm just gonna tweet at him and say thanks for killing me, dude. Appreciate it.
Chat, I feel embarrassed.
What's up, Peter?
I'm an awful streamer.
Dude, of course I had like, dude, I should have killed him. I should have.
Nothing happened, man. I was streaming on a.
If I had a shotgun chat, Avery solo? No, I know. Yeah, his teammate died. Yo, somebody legit just tweeted me a picture of Nerf bullets. Yo, wait, no, this kid tweeted me pictures of what he got for Christmas. Yo, that's actually dope. He got a headset, Xbox controller, Xbox games. This man got a Lego set? Huh? Bro.
At the Carnage house, we're getting like a train set.
Dude, you're into trains too, bro? Bro, I'm like Sheldon Cooper when it comes to trains.
Bro, I have like a whole bunch of them.
Nah, do you actually? Like actual trains?
And I also have a
He hasn't said anything?
Toy
Nah.
cars. I literally collect toy
love
cars,
her.
literally.
Yo, let's go to Pleasant. I love your vids. Yo, Toxic, thank you very much for the $2, man. I appreciate that, brother. Yo, let's get a Toxic spam in the chat.
My internet was bad.
Yo, I hopped out. We're going to Pleasant.
No chat.
Merry Christmas. Yo, Kim, Merry Christmas to you, man.
Mac and cheese, ham.
Oh,
I don't know what else.
Of course.
What?
Dude, it didn't let me land low because I was too close to the freaking hill. Ah. Henis, I told Avery he killed you. No, I'm sure he noticed. It's just... Ocean, where you landing, bud? Alright, you're going all the way over here? Alright, I'm coming with you.
At this double-decker house double.
Yeah, yo, I low-key see something on the second roof there. Yeah, I got that first AR.
Is that you? Okay.
Yeah, that's me.
I hear a chest.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh, okay.
Right
Right here.
Where? Oh, right here, on the roof. I'm weak.
Roof where?
On top of the roof, just right above us. I got him.
Oh, okay. You think? Oh, that was his teammate. Wait.
Just threw a smoke.
Just
Yeah,
smoke?
that was his teammate. No, that's his. That was the guy up top. He threw it. I can't see anything in there, man. Oh, hell yeah.
He had nothing but a pistol. Yeah, I got a. What do you call for you?
I got bandage. Wait, what do you got?
I got like a shield for you.
Oh, no, dude, this guy. No, they're pushed right up on us, man. What's up, Kia? Wait, were they not teammates?
Oh my god.
Oh, wait, you're alive.
Yeah. Oh, you did not see what just happened?
Bro, I thought you died.
I turned on him.
Oh, my.
Huh?
Oh, my.
This is bad.
If you dab like you did one of your last streams, then it should be called a cringe compilation. Listen, dude, I can sit here and do anything and have it be called cringy. Ocean just dab. Look at that. There's a dab emote in Fortnite. What's up, Kylie? How you doing today? Welcome to the stream. Play on PS4? Nah, I'm good.
First time I seen him without a hat. Yeah, man.
Fortnite is the new Roblox? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. All right, this could be my last game.
All right.
What's up, Zesteel? How you doing today? What's up, Domo? Welcome to the stream. And then I need some food, dude. Like, I'm hungry. Like, no lie. Yo, I like having the second PC right here with its own separate keyboard and mouse. Can set up stuff easily. It's lit, man. It's lit.
Yo, what's up, Powerful? Yo, this is probably my last game, chat. I'm gonna go eat after this. Cause I can smell. Play Roblox.
What's up, Andrew? Hi, Pro. How you doing this Christmas? Yo, tight. I'm doing pretty great, man. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty Gucci. What's up, Hybrix? Welcome to the stream, man. All right, dude. Where are we headed?
I don't know, Daddy. Where we going?
Honestly, man, let's go to Loot Lake. Henis, I'll make you some Mexican food. Yo, bro, I hate to burst your bubble, but I am not a fan of the Mexican food.
Oh, you don't like spicy?
Nah, I like spicy, just not a fan of Mexican. Not a fan of Mexican, not a fan of Chinese. I'm an American.
What the hell?
Alright, I gotta scoot in for this one, man. Sheesh.
Last game, let's get this win, baby.
Hell yeah. I can't even say that with any confidence anymore with how we've been playing, honestly.
I mean, I whipped on that one dude, though.
Look at this. Thank you. I thought that was that his teammate? He insta died, right? Oh, guy out in the water.
What? Oh.
Bro, he has no freaking clue what's going on. He's head glitching too. Got him.
His teammate is across the water.
Yeah. Let's stay here and get ammo because I only have 3 bullets. Please have ammo. 30 bullets. Hell yeah. I got like no building materials either. Wait, you see him? Oh, he's building over there.
His teammate's right there.
Well, I can't really rush him. I don't have any materials, but.
That's not really. You wanna play squad? Nah, man. I'm getting off after this.
That better give me a. Really, 27? Oh, he died.
No, yeah, he died because of right there. Look, behind him.
Yeah. Oh wait, there's somebody.
the
Oh,
water?
wait, there's a guy right there. What the hell?
I hit him.
I got him.
He knocked. Oh.
I'm going out. Yeah, some loot over here.
I only have 12 bullets.
Some AR ammo for you over here.
And a med kit.
Ooh. Nothing back here. There's still guys above us, by the way. They're still here.
I have no shotgun.
I got a pump, that's it. I think I hear them in there.
They're right here.
You hear them?
Yeah, they're right here. They're below me, like right here, like in this little cubby area below you. They were crouch walking.
Wait, for real?
100%.
I heard them doing something out front.
They're right here. They're right here.
Dude, I have no idea where. Wait, where are you shooting, bruh?
Outside, literally.
I have
We
no...
were going up where you built the ladder at. They were right there. Dude, I just fell. Was that you building?
No, that's them.
Oh, that is you building right there.
No, there was somebody else building. No, they're building. They gotta be below. His teammate's gotta be below. That's where he's gotta be.
I mean, he just died though, so yeah.
They gotta be up there.
Wait, he's
Yeah.
not up here.
Where are the... How many kills do you have?
I have 2. But that was
Same.
one
Did we...
from the...
I have 2 too, though. Honestly, dude, I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on.
I know.
Best
I saw
callouts?
2 of them, though. Yo, what's up, Alan? I saw 2 though.
You sure?
Bro, I'm positive. I'm not tripping. Chat, can somebody confirm for me?
Oh, Lord, dude. Now I'm mad.
Alright, let's just leave.
Bro, if you're confident you saw somebody else, where the hell did this man go?
It was a blue knight and the... Oh, wait. What is that?
There's a shotgun over here to the 285, 285.
Nobody looted the Christmas tree.
They're shooting at you.
Hey, guess what? Guess what? Yep, and I couldn't
Can you build?
No, I'm dead. Wait, no, that's a fucking tree. Never mind. I'm getting
Jesus.
off. I can't play this game. Everything's making me tilt. They
Hold on,
pushed
no.
you.
You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. How close?
They're building right now, like close.
Okay.
Like they're about to be on your stairs that you made. And the last guy is across, literally by the brick building.
Really?
Yeah. You can kill his teammate from ammo. He's not. Yeah, now he's.
Shoot, he just definitely pulled that card, didn't he?
Yeah, you really did. You're gooder.
I got 10 HP, bro. Should I just go for you?
Yeah, you too, Merkin. If you want. He's coming right now off the bridge. He's just nading.
That's gonna miss, right? Nice. No,
Alright,
I'm getting
chat.
off. Yo, toxic. I'm
Peace out,
getting off. Honestly,
Love you all.
this
Merry
has just
Christmas,
been a really just crappy day, dude. Honestly, like Christmas is great and all, but like I don't know. You can have streams like that, man. That just sucks. Just sucks.
Peace out, chat. Love you all. Merry Christmas.
Guys, I'm getting off. I'll talk to all of you later. Peace out. Thank you for stopping in the stream. I appreciate it. That's going to miss, right? Well, the first one missed, and the second one came in. He just kept spamming. I thought he was going to keep throwing him too high. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Until next time, everybody, keep gaming. And as always, stay cool. Adios.